Welcome to North Sun Tabletop Games. Today we're going to be playing Marvel Champions as Gambit takes on Rhino. So for our setup, we have the main scheme, the break-in. We are just going to be going with the standard encounter set and the modular encounter set bomb scare. So we've got that set up here in Rhino's deck. Rhino on his phase 1 card, he schemes for 1 and attacks for 2. I'm Rhino, I knock things down. That's what I do. That's who I am. So we're going to try to take this guy out. At the bottom of the card for one player, he starts with 14 life. We have 14 life here. He's going up against Gambit, otherwise known as Remy LeBeau on his alter ego side. He has mutant and thief keywords. He has thief extraordinaire. For an action, he can thwart on this card. Look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Discard one of those cards and remove threat based on however many icons this card has at the bottom. And then on his Gambit side, he thwarts for 1, attacks for 2, defense of 3, keywords of Thief and X-Men. He can charge the card, put a charge counter here, and he can throw the card. So when you play an attack event, remove up to 3 charge counters from here, and that event will deal +1 damage for each counter removed. Flipping back and forth does not remove any of his charges because it does not mention to do that on his card. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So the bottom of the hero cards in Marvel Champions, it tells you their hand size. So he starts with a hand size of 6. Let's draw our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can decide if you want a mulligan in the early round. So we've got an energy, molecular acceleration, Professor X, charge card, royal flush, and stealth strike. So we have a lot of damage. Let's see, place 1 charge counter. Probably don't need that one. It's probably too early for Professor X, but I like these 2. So we'll keep these 2. We'll keep charge card. We will go ahead and mulligan those 3. Those just go into our discard pile, and then we'll draw 3 more cards. 1, 2, and 3. So we have Dazzler. After Dazzler interplay, confuse an enemy. Operative skill. Add counters to this, and when we thwart an extra one, and breaking and entering. Thwarting. So he has a lot of thwarting to start with, which is not exactly what we need, but let's go ahead and get started. So I think what we'll do, we'll flip to Gambit's hero side. We're going to take our action to charge the card, so I'll just put this token on here to represent that. And let's go ahead and use molecular acceleration. When you spend this card, place 1 charge counter on Gambit. We'll use that to pay for charged card. This is an event. Deal 4 damage to an enemy for the attack. And we will go ahead and do throw the card to make this 6 damage. So this token will come off plus the one that he added from that other charge. So he'll go from 14 down to 8. Those charges out. And then we're going to spend 2, 3, and 4 to put Dazzler into play. So Dazzler is going to come out. After Dazzler comes into play, confuse an enemy. So we'll go ahead and confuse Rhino. And then we will have Dazzler attack for 2. And Dazzler says, all that noise, the city is a symphony, and I'm her speaker. She's going to dazzle Rhino, attack for 2 damage. She's going to take 1 consequential damage from doing that attack. It takes Rhino down to 6 life. We'll go ahead and exhaust Gambit. He'll attack Rhino for 2. Rhino goes down to 4 life. And that will be the end of their turn. So we'll go ahead and refresh. We'll draw to Gambit's hand size. So you can see on the hero card, his hand size is 5. So he'll draw 5 cards. Oh, I forgot to mention Gambit has 9 life. How could I forget that? Get this down here. So Gambit has 9 life. That's also at the bottom where it tells you the hit points of the hero. All right, so we'll draw up his 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have Creole Charmer, another operative skills, Royal Flush, Hit and Run, and another Creole Charmer. And if I didn't mention it before, this is the Gambit basic deck. All right, so we'll go to the villain phase. First thing the villain does is place threat on the main scheme. So on the villain card, we're going against the break-in. This is his main scheme. Rhino is trying to smash through the facility wall and steal a shipment of vibranium. You must stop him. It's 1 player, so this +1 means we add 1 threat at the start of the turn per player. So it's only 1, so we'll be adding 1. If this threat gets up to 7, we lose. Or if Gambit takes more than 9 health, we also lose. So at the start of the villain phase, you always add a threat. So 1 threat for the villain. And then Rhino is going to attack. So the villain attacks if you're on your hero side, or he schemes if you're on the alter ego side. Attacking does damage to the hero. Scheming adds more threat to the break-in. So since we're on the hero side, he's going to attack us for 2. So I can decide, does Gambit want to take that attack or defend? So Gambit has a defense of 3. So we're going to go ahead and exhaust him and let him defend. So he's going to block 3 damage. Rhino attacks for 2. We pull the top card. We look at these pips. So 2 + 2 is 4. This gets discarded. So 1 damage gets through. Gambit goes down to 8 life. Next step of the villain phase, we pull an encounter card and resolve it. So now Rhino is going to assault. The villain attacks you. All right, so he's going to attack again. So 2+, Gambit's already defended, so he can't block anything. So I think we're going to go ahead and have Dazzler jump in the way. She takes 2+, she takes 2 damage. That's just enough to knock Dazzler out. So she goes to the discard pile. That ends the villain's turn, and we are back to Gambit. So he is going to charge the card again. Let's see, he's got 5 cards. Nothing great. This is all thwarting. He could do a Royal Flush and do 3 damage, but that's not necessarily going to take out. Hit and Run. Deal 2 damage to an enemy and remove 2 threat from a scheme. It's pretty expensive to do that. But he doesn't really need these Creole charges. So I think that's what he's going to do. Yeah, I think we're going to... because the villain is already confused. Yep, so even though it's not optimal, we'll spend 3 and do Hit and Run, deal 2 damage to an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So he'll go down to 2. We'll remove the threat from the main scheme. We got 1 card left. We're going to flip over to Alter Ego side. That will end his turn. We're going to discard this. Refresh. We'll draw up to the hand size, so he gets 6 cards on this side. All right, and we'll keep going. So we've got Passion and Justice, Operative Skill, the Thieves Guild, Genius, Strength, and Gambit Staff. Not a great deck. Not great for what we want to do. All right, villain phase. Adds 1 back to the main scheme. We're on the Alter Ego side, so Rhino will scheme, but he is confused, so the confused will just go away. And we'll pull his encounter card. It is a Hydra Bomber. When revealed, choose to either take 2 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme. So the Hydra Bomber has 2 life, 1 scheme, 1 attack. He's headed our way. We're going to choose to place a threat on the scheme. All right. All right, let's see, what are we going to do? Okay, so we are going to... Tough. That's tough. We'll spend 2 to put operative skill into play. It gets 3 operative tokens. And then we are going to go ahead and spend 1 to play the Thieves Guild. And Thieves Guild is after you resolve your Thief Extraordinaire ability, exhaust the Thieves Guild, remove 1 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat from the scheme, draw 1 card. And so I could use that to draw a card. So let's have Gambit. But we kind of want to get rid of this guy. So we'll save that for now. Yeah, I think we'll save it. And then we'll play 1 to put out Gambit's staff. So it's a hero interrupt. When an enemy attacks, exhaust Gambit's staff, deal 1 damage to that enemy. So now I can decide I can either do this, thwart action, take 2 off, or I can flip and try to take out the Hydra Bomber. And I don't have anybody who can defend against him, but I think that's what we'll do. Gambit will flip to his hero side. He's going to charge the card, get another token. And then he'll just do a basic attack for 2 and defeat the Hydra Bomber. That's it. We will refresh Gambit, drop to the hand side, so he gets 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We've got Rogue, 2 Stealth Strikes, a Mutant Education, and Natural Agility. Okay. All right. So next up, the villain is going to put threat on the main scheme. 3, only needs 7 to win. Then Rhino is going to attack us for 2. We will defend for 3. So 2 plus. So 3 damage. We block all 3. We don't take any damage. We're going to interrupt and use Gambit's staff. Deal 1 damage back to Rhino. It'll take him down to 1 life. And then we will draw his encounter card. So Rhino is going to, okay, breaking and taking. Rhino is breaking things and taking them. So when revealed, place an additional threat here. We get an extra encounter for the next encounter phase. So we'll get this side scheme into play. Ironically, this is the same side scheme that comes up if he gets flipped. So it might be good to flip him. All right, so 1 per player. So at the bottom it says 2. So 2 threat go on a scheme plus 1 per player. So that's going to be a total of 3 for us to get rid of breaking and taking. All right, so we are back to the hero side. So let's see. I think what we're going to do, we can either get Rogue out there. First, let's charge the card for 1. And then we're going to go ahead and play Rogue. Reduce the cost to play Rogue by 1 for each charge counter on your identity. So he's got 3. So Rogue can come out. And she's only going to cost 1. So we'll get rid of this Stealth Strike. Rogue comes out with a Tough. All right, now let's go ahead and, I hate to have Rogue attack to defeat him, but I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, I think we're going to have Rogue attack so that he goes down. 2 encounter cards. I can't thwart 2. And of course, now I don't have any thwarting. Or maybe it's bad to play Rogue right now. Yeah, let me go back. Let me not play rogue yet. Instead, I'm gonna do spend 3 to do a stealth strike. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. If that enemy is defeated by this attack, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So we'll defeat Rhino phase 1. So Rhino will go to phase 2. He has 1 scheme, 3 attack. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for break it and take inside scheme, and reveal it, shuffle the encounter deck. So since this is already out, we don't have to do that, and he's saying out of my way. He's got 15 life. So to win the game, we have to beat side 1 and side 2. So if we defeat him now, that will wrap up our playthrough. Okay, so we're going to keep rogue. I think we are going to stay on this side. Yep, so we will refresh. Drop to the hand size. Okay. Villain will activate. He's got 4. He needs 7. He is going to attack us for 3+. So we are going to go ahead and defend. And he's attacking for 3+. So 4 damage. So we'll take 1 damage. That takes us down to 7. We'll exhaust Gambit's staff. That will give 1 damage back to Rhino. And we'll draw the encounter card. The first encounter is hard to keep down. When revealed, Rhino heals 4 damage. So you think you can stop me? What a joke. So he just took 1 damage, so he'll heal back up 1. And because of break it and take it, the first player gets another encounter. It is crowd control. Panic civilians, crowd the area. It's difficult to confront Rhino without putting them at risk. Get the people to safety. So this is going to have 2 threat on it. It's another side scheme. And we can't take anything off the main scheme until we get rid of that. Right, this is not going well. Okay, so we are back to Gambit. All right, so I think what we're going to do, we are going to charge the card, give him another charge token. And then we are going to, what can I do? Rogue, natural agility, bishop, molecular acceleration, and hit and run. Deal 2 damage to an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So 1, 2. I think we're going to spend 3. So 1, 2, 3. To pay for hit and run. Deal 2 damage to an enemy and remove 2 threat from a scheme. Take Rhino down to 13. Remove 2 threat from crowd control. That will get rid of that. We have 4. Reduce the cost to play Rogue by 4. So Rogue will come out with the tough. And then she will go ahead and thwart for 2. Which unfortunately will make her lose her tough. But I think we have to. So let's go down 3 to 2. And then, do we stay on this side or do we flip? So 7 damage. If I flip, I can't do this Thief Extraordinary because I have to exhaust. Yeah, you have to exhaust to do that. But I think we do need to flip because I'm going to need to take actions. Okay, so he's got 4 charges. We'll flip. And that will wrap up our turn. So refresh. Draw up to the hand size. I think we're going to throw bishop and just draw 6. I hope we can survive this because I don't have a good feeling about this. All right. Rhino, the villain, is going to add a threat to the scheme. Then he is going to scheme for 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. That takes this up to 5. And he gets 2 encounters. The first one is Armored Rhino Suit. So Rhino has an Armored Rhino Suit that needs to take 5 damage before we can do damage to him. And hard to keep down. He's already... Is he at max health? He is not. He's at 13. So Rhino is going to heal up again. You think you can stop me? What a joke. So he goes back up to 15. It's a lot more challenging than I thought it would be. Okay. So we are back to Gambit's turn. He has Charged Card, Passion for Justice, Beauty and the Thief, X-Mansion, Mutant Education, and Charged Card. So I think the first thing we're going to do is Thief Extraordinaire. Exhaust Remy LeBeau. Look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Discard one of those cards and remove threat equal to the number of icons. So we're going to look at these 2. We got Guild Business and Stampede. We'll have him get rid of Guild Business. So 2 pips will come off, which means I'll take 2 off of Breaking and Taken. So that was going to have 1. Then I can exhaust the Thieves Guild, remove 1 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat from that scheme, draw 1 card. So this will get removed. Breaking and Taken. He's figured that out. We get to draw a card. We got Gambit's Guild Armor. Okay, now we've got Beauty and the Beast. Deal 4 damage, remove 4 threat from a... Okay, that's good. That's good. How can I play this? Okay. So let's go ahead and spend Passion for Justice. And we'll go ahead and spend Mutant Education. So we'll pay 2 to do Beauty and the Thief. It's a team-up ability, and since we have Rogue out, deal 4 damage to an enemy, remove 4 threat from a scheme. So we'll do 4 damage to his Armored Rhino Suit. And I have to flip for this over to the hero side. So 4 damage to the Armored Rhino Suit. We're going to remove 4 threat from a scheme. So we'll take this down to 1. We are going to remove 1 operative counter to remove 1 additional threat from the scheme. That'll clear this off. Okay. Fantastic. Now we're feeling a little bit better. So I think next up, so we do have Gambit's armor. And I can put his armor down, and then wait to do charge the card. I think that's probably better, so then he can like at least refresh when he defends. So let's go ahead and this X-Mansion allows us to heal a mutant or an X-Men character when you're in alter ego form. I don't really want to throw this, but I think I am. So I'm going to use this resource to pay for Gambit's Guild Armor. And then we're going to have Rogue attack for 2 to bust up Rhino's Armored Suit. That's going to go away. And then we'll keep these 2 charged cards. Okay, that's it for Gambit. So we will refresh, refresh, and refresh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, also we'll charge the card. So he's got 5 charges on here now. And then we'll draw 3 because we already have 2 cards in our hand. 1, 2, 3. He got Hit and Run, Mutant Education, and Breaking and Entering. Rhino will add 1 threat to the main scheme. Then he's going to attack for 3. Do I want to take that? Or do I want to... I think I have to have Rogue defend. I don't think I can take that. I doubt that I'm going to be able to take no damage. Yep, I think we're going to have Rogue defend. So Rogue will defend. He hits for 3. For 4. That's going to knock Rogue out. We'll exhaust Gambit's staff. Hit him for 1. Takes him down to 14. We'll grab his encounter. It is I'm tough. Rhino gains a tough status card. If he already has tough, he gains surge. So bring it, the Rhino. So Rhino is now tough. All right, then we're back to Gambit. First thing he's going to do, charge the card. So he has 6. And then we are going to play... All right, so we're going to use 3 cards. So we will spend 2 to pay for charged card. We are going to use 3 counters to make this 7 damage instead of 4. So this attack also gains ranged, piercing, and overkill. So piercing will go right through the tough. So we'll take this off. We had 6. We go down to 3. He finally throws those cards at Rhino. Rhino goes down to 7 life. He takes 7 damage. And his tough is gone. And we got 2 cards left. If I had 1 more card, I could do something else. I think we're going to go ahead and exhaust Gambit for 2. Take Rhino down to 5 life. And we do have this. We have 1 more charge card, so we should be able to take him out next turn. Okay, that's it for Gambit. We are going to refresh. We're going to stay on the hero side. We're going to discard a card. Draw 1. It's breaking and entering. Now we have to shuffle this deck. That means he's going to get an extra encounter. So if he survives this villain phase, he should be able to take out Rhino. Oh, if I could just shuffle properly. All right, deck shuffled, cut. So we got 2 cards. We need 3 more. 1, 2, 3. We've got a charged card, breaking and entering, mutant education, 2 breaking and enterings, 2 charged cards. First up, the villain puts a threat on the main scheme. And then Rhino is going to attack. So I think we will defend because we know we should be able to take him out. So defend for 3. He attacks for 3 plus 2 is 5 damage. That's going to take us down to 5 life because 2 get through. So going down from 7 to 5. Going to use Gambit staff. Hit him back for 1. Takes him down to 4 life. And then his encounter. So we got 2 encounters to deal with. The first one is False Alarm. This is from Bomb Scare. When revealed, you are confused. You are already confused. This card gains surge. Nothing to see here, people. Iron Man. So some false alarm distracts Gambit. He is now confused. And then we have the Shocker. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each hero. I bet you're shocked to see me. All right, so Gambit's going to take another damage. Goes down to 4. Then it's Gambit's turn, so we are just going to go ahead and play 2. To play charge the card, we'll spend 3 counters to give it range, piercing, and overkill. So it'll be 7 damage to Rhino. He's got 4 damage. That takes him down to 0. Overkill would have hit him for 3, which would have been 7. So takes everybody out, and Gambit has defeated Rhino. All right, that's going to conclude our playthrough of Marvel Champions. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. If you'd like to see more Marvel Champions videos, Go ahead, post something in the comments. If you have any good decks or suggestions for how to play Gambit, please let me know. So appreciate your time. Again, this is Gambit. It's the pre-con deck. Thanks for watching.